the club we listened to at the time, and she said, "Are you talking about something in the vein of Saki, the short stories of Saki?" And we went, "Yes, that is. You've hit the nail on the head. It's exactly like that." Both of us going, "Who the fuck's Saki?" We should drink in a Japanese restaurant. So we came up, we read all the works of Saki, but a short story is a bit like a sort of 3-minute pop song. It's a distillation of one idea. It really appealed to us to have a series of these self-contained episodes. We didn't want to have any limitation on our imagination, so we went away and wrote 2 different stories. We wrote one which was Nana's Party, which didn't surface until series 2, and the other one we wrote was Tom and Jerry. And from Tom and Jerry, we took our inspiration from a play that we'd written years previously when we were on the Dole. Reece used to go on restart course all the time. Yeah. That was your job, wasn't it? Being on restarts. Thank God you did, because otherwise we'd never have Pauline Campbell John. Yes. Okie dokie, bringing a pokey!
Get the lipstick on with the whole thing.
Don't worry, I will.
He's got me to camera. Yes, I was going on out to Woodgreen High Street, where I am for my restart. Why did you never go on a fucking restart? You weren't going to go as long as me.
Yes, no, you have to sign on, as I'm sure the people of Nottingham know. Sign on for 11 weeks, then you take a week off, pretend you're working, and then you start again with a fresh, clean slate.
Why did you fucking tell me that? Anyway, so I was going out to Woodgreen High Street in North London having my restart with Pauline Campbell-Jones. There she was, fully formed in Woodgreen High Street. You've been having pennies back like dollars around me. And so I was going to write about this. I thought this is a character, a restart lady that hates the unemployed. And I said, I'll try to get out one day. I just said, I've got an audition for Joseph's Amazing Technical Dream Coat. And she went, oh, well, if you get that, then you have to bring a postering right to the place. I thought, how fucking pathetic is that? Treating us all like we're 6, and she thinks that somehow I keep messing with some colours on the fucking wall. Anyway, so, yes, I was coming back. We wrote this play. Pauline was in this play, The Dole. And it was a bit rubbish, wasn't it, actually? It was long and sprawling. Pauline was the best about it. So we reduced the idea of that play, which was a man on the dole, and he invites his homeless man into his life, and slowly they reverse and drag him down. And that was the essence of the play, and we did a sort of better version of it with Tom and Jerry, which was the episode that we wrote for Inside No.9. Very different from the other one, but that was the point, trying to do different half hours, very different, overly comedically, whatever, so that was the first 2 we wrote.
So you didn't have a hook to begin with, and the night came later. So tell us how the night went, because initially the show was going to be more happy endings.
Yes.
Why laughing?
We were going to call it happy ending.
I'm singing. Wasn't me, wasn't it?
We'd already used up happy endings in the League of Gentlemen, really, with my character Charlie. My character Charlie had a job in a massage parlour. Some of you might have seen doing happy endings, so we thought we won't do that again. We wanted to have basically a door with a number on, and that would be the only thing. So you could be in a big posh country house, you could be in a little flat, but whatever the door number was would be the common theme. And we went through, in fact, in the book you can see when we're doing all the doodles trying to find the right number. And we were like 52, 25.
We went through every number and all of them. 1, now 2, now 3, now 4, now.
Well, we wanted number 5, and they told us we couldn't have it because she'll have it.
No, then come back.
Yeah. And you know what it was at the end of the day? Simple alliteration. Number 9. Yay! That's it!
Number 9 fans. This is the number 9 fan. Yeah, they said, can you, but then it was even more pathetic. Who wants to go number 9? I've done that number just because it was an easy way of getting in and out of different stories. And the BBC said, can you change it to inside? No, just to help the viewer out. That doesn't fucking help the viewer out. is it? Oh, come on to Little League. Don't know what it is, don't know what it is. And anyway, everyone thinks it's a political thing anyway. Oh, is it like a political thing? That's what I fucking never hear.
You know what you hear is like that.
Oh, fuck off!
Didn't swear that on Twitter.
Hey, all that. They don't know them, and I have been dragged here.
I think they have.
Somehow he has.
So that was it. So we just had the one hope, which was the door number, and we just gave ourselves freedom to do any genre, any style. And the BBC, to give them their credit, left us alone. They just said, okay, we like what you did with the first 2 stories. Go ahead, and we got the first series commissioned.
Because at that point, anthology shows weren't in vogue. They had done it for years.
Yeah, I think the received wisdom of controllers was that you shouldn't do something that finishes and that say, well, beginning, middle and ended one episode is not appealing in their eyes because they want an audience to grow and be hooked in by 24 weeks of the million box sets, but only 18 hours of life got left. So they think it's not very good if you all when sets every week because you watch one, think it's good, but it might not return. But we've always thought if anything like that, whatever they are, and if it's good, you'll watch it anyway. So we just wanted to make good little short stories. Like Clever Today, like Twilight Zone, like Tales to Expect. There's a long heritage of all anthology shows. And they're just, like say that week one for quite a few years, it's out of vogue. And so we thought, let's do that, and we were surprised that it said yes at the time.
There's Black Mirror as well. So let's talk about how you find...
I'm sorry. No, but literally again, Amen.
Let's talk about how you find your stories when you're in a kind of writing sale. Because you find some odd things. So you see a shoe on the street, and that being eaten by the No.9. You're obsessed with Richard Crosswell. Do you think that's in the side of the line? So talk about that process and you find that third of an idea and how that spins out into incredible set.
Well, there's no one answer to that really. I mean, in series 3 we were very blessed because we encountered things. When we saw a couple arguing in a restaurant about paying the bill, that became number 9. And we saw a shoot in the street on the way to work, literally on the way to work, on a Monday morning where we were trying to come up with a fresh idea. That became number 9. And so you're very lucky if that happens. But I think when you are writing, your receptors are a bit more over to that type of thing. Other times you might have an ending that you're working towards. So in the case of 12 Days of Christine, here example, we knew what the end was and we had to find a way to get it. Or it could be something like a YouTube clip, like Sales Time grew out of, or a newspaper article about the Samaritans, which Cold Comfort grew out of. So you're just looking for some impetus that excites you and you feel you've got a good half an hour's, it feels meaty, it feels like that's something you want to spend time with. And then when we try to plot out, we always try to plot out what we think the audience are watching, or what they think they're watching, and what we are doing is going on underneath. So that those 2 things come together at the end, hopefully in a nice enjoyable twist. And then we go back and we lay seeds as to what we've really been up to all the time in the main plot. So it's a constant battle between us and the audience.
But given you get science to the writing process, how did the pair of you sit down and work together? Maybe beginning with the stuff you do before you sit down and work.
Yes, well, I don't know where this started, but we have a little office that we go to, and one of us will get there first, and whoever gets there first, the other one's probably really very close behind, get coffees, bring a cup of tea, and whoever's there first will stage their own death. So the other person will come in on it like rhymes like a dead one, in a different way each time. It's getting really hard to think of new different. How it works now. I ultimately I want we hold the other line, wrap around some cake around your neck. Pull your trousers down and some. The last time we did it, not long ago, was like that. Literally right over. with like, I think it was a coat hanger down the back, stood right in.
The cause of death was not clear.
Not clear. Reports being done on it. So we'll do that, and that really done force 5 minutes. What I want to do ultimately is to end up with one like, you know, at the end of the, when Lecter gets out the cage inside the lab, and the policeman is up, there's like an American flag and all this good stuff. I want to get all that set up, I'm never there really enough to get it all ready. That's what I knew. It's a small tip. But what happened one time, Steve? Till about when
There was one time I heard the gate go, so I knew I was about to clench my whipped my belt off, put it round my neck, pulled it tight, lay back on the desk with my trousers around my ankles.
what was the trousers now?
And then I heard the key in the door opened, and then I heard a woman scream. And it wasn't Reece. It was our landlady, genuinely Louise. Trying to chase after her, but pulling my trousers. It's just a joke that we do every day.
Come back and explain it!
She's never looked at me quite the same way again.
It is based on a film.
Eh?
It is based on.
Well, yes, Harold and Maude, I think, is what was behind it. A great film from the 1970s.
The ones you stage your death.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're
Well, now I
Then we, in the beginning stages, we sit and we talk. I mean, it's all about really hitting on that idea, and whatever the impetus for the idea is, as I said earlier, it doesn't really matter where it comes from. We just have to discuss it. We have to make sure we've got rich enough characters and new characters. Because the other thing about most anthology series is you would cast your net wide and have a series of different writers. I mean, Playful Today gave us the likes of, Dennis Potter, Barry Hyde, Smiley. They invited lots of voices in. We are just two people, so we have to keep finding new things to write about. And that gets harder and harder. So we'll just talk and talk and talk, and when we feel like we really hit upon the idea, the actual writing of it can take 5 or 6 days for the first draft.
Yeah, I mean, we've got good, and I think there's one way of doing it, and this isn't predominantly how we do it now. We'll talk for a long time, as Steve says, and we'll have an outline of how, where the story is going, how many short scenes it will require to tell the story. And then you're more bold going into it, thinking you're not rudderless writing something you're not quite sure why you're doing what are you doing. So we've got the direction more. Other times we've started that process and we have got lost and not thought, when we've arrived and thought, actually, it's not catching fire with us. It's not enjoyable to write, and you've got to really find something in it that finds you up to want to shoot to the end. And then other times like this, then we've had the ending and thought, how do we get there? And then even halfway through, we thought, they're going to be onto that ending, we need to change it. So then we did start to do the thing of the double twist, where you think you're not, and we'll put things in and make you think, yeah, I know it is. And then we'll change it again so that you get tricked again. So, and that happened with Tom and Jerry. The original ending of Tom and Jerry was soon to be that the doll boy Mick was not really, we thought that was really, almost forgetting it. It is a figment of his imagination. Of course, you got that straight away. So we thought, actually, now let's make it as it's, because that's the thing that you probably will think. You probably won't think it's the girlfriend that's been with him all along, which is sort of Sixth Sense type scenario. But we thought that was a better reveal because we lay the seeds of one thing that we thought you would think it was, and like Steve says, the real thing is revealed at the end, and it's been inherent eyesight or.
And when you're writing and you come into the dialogue, do you pack that?
We don't act it out as such. We will always read what we've done at the end of the day, and at the end of the week we'll see how it feels, because one of the great things about being writer performers is that you can bring your scripts to life. So we won't be on our feet realistically, but we'll give it some character when reading it, and we just alternate lines. So we won't stick to one role. We won't assign which parts we're going to eventually play. And I think in that way, if you imagine you could be playing any of the parts, we'd better make them all good. So and that's what we try to do. We That's where we go. Is there a part which means that functional? Is there a part that feels a bit dry? And we try and give a bit of humor or a bit of quirky character to every role, really, to hook other actors in.
And comedy, you do a comedy pass once you've got story in place.
Yeah, despite the fact it's reputedly a comedy, it's the last thing that we think about as far as it being important to the story. I mean, it is absolutely it's a comedy part, but as you know, if you see any of it, not funny, it's very really sad, touchy, horrifying. So, I think it's all right, because if they're good, like I say, you won't mind that some weeks it's not as funny as other weeks. Other times we'll try and make it really fun. We'll try to like the mod we did at the House on the Two Ronalds. That was our signing comedy with the kid who doesn't know what's so that is one of the great things about the position we're in. We're getting to do a psychological one, really is, and a funny one that's musical, and that's one of the joys of not quite knowing what you're going to get each week. But yeah, as far as comedy is concerned, sometimes the comedy is in the type of people that are telling the story. They can be quite funny in real life, rather than gags. So it just depends on how what story I'm telling, how quirky it'll be. We've done a lot of old ladies in the Silent Brothers, Steve and Reece. That off, Mr. Lee, not force. And other times we do, we've gone the funny, big day characters. Other times we take a back seat. But hopefully you get actors in that know the comedy is there in sometimes very dramatic moments, but you know that they'll be able to do that.
And you often play with all the storytelling. So you have silent one, a CCTV one, a backwards one, Shakespearean one. Is that to stop yourself getting bored since you're rising in this director?
It is, yeah, and it's something which we hit upon in series 1, really, when we did the silent episode. It felt really exciting and really fresh. And you can only really do that in an anthology series because there are no rules from week to week. So you do have that freedom, and I think we embraced that freedom to be able to explore different ways of telling stories and how to use this half an hour of television that we have every week. And so when we did series 2, and we're very keen to do a period one, we were very keen that we did this one, which we directed ourselves, which is all on CCTV, which is just a still image the whole half hour, really, with these 3 little pictures down the side. And that felt very fresh and exciting. And in a way, it's all about going back to basics. It's going back to simple storytelling. I think we got a bit sort of sick of seeing things that were all flash bang wallop, very fast camera moves, and it's nice just to slow down a bit and just say, you've got half an hour now, sit back, we're going to tell you a story, and you don't have to be jumping around all over the place. We'll be on one set with this group of small characters, and those limitations make you more inventive when you're writing. So for us, we found it's been a really good foreword to look.
So in this hat, we have about every episode and another night, so gets paid enough, and some out random to talk about it. Who would like to go first?
Okay, we've also put the date of the episode when it aired to see if you've got any super fans in who can recognise which episode it is. So, here's a good one. Which episode aired on the 27th of December 2016? Ooh! What? What's your name? What's your name? Dan. You have won this piece of paper. Someone give it to you.
And nobody has ever done that.
The Devil of Christmas.
How do you know it from the date, you fucking weirdo? Nobody's aired for that.
I think that was the easiest one because it's the December.
Oh yeah.
It's actually getting a repeat tomorrow night.
It is!
Because it's a set of videos. So the interesting story behind this is that I remember reading about the Krampus, who is the sort of dark side of Father Christmas, and we talked about it, thought this will make a really offbeat Christmas episode, and we wanted to do it as a straight horror. So we started imagining this chalet, because it's an alpine myth. A family is staying in the chalet, so we've got the parent, we've got the little boy, we've got the caretaker. And we wrote about 5 or 6 pages of it, and we read it back at the end of the day. And actually, when we try and do traditional horror, we often can't put a spin on it. It felt a bit hokey and a bit like any other type of horror film. And we just thought, this isn't really feeling like Inside No.9. It felt a bit, almost a bit Scooby-Doo-ish in trying to make it scary. So we didn't know what to do, and it came to us that we should embrace this very hokey nature of what we were doing and do it as a homage to the thrillers, Tales of the Unexpected, Beasts, those single scary dramas in the 70s and 80s. And that instantly brought it to life because we knew we could have fun with how we filmed it, and we knew that we could then play with the form, and it just immediately felt funny then.
Yeah, it promised a lot of opportunities there to be funny about the program itself. I mean, in a sort of loving way, we wanted to be able to point out all the things, about that is old. Because a lot of Tales of Unexpected shit, actually. Second of the day, there's one that's got Ron Moody in it. His thing is he's a wine taster, and he can taste any wine. It's Poltergeist. And the twist is that he creeps in the kitchen, has the grill on, and some of the fridge. It's an amazing one. Goes back in. That's the end of it. Imagine if we fucking did that. They would tell us how brilliant and Tales of Unexpected is. Anyway, so, despite the fact we've got no time for Tales of Unexpected, we thought it was fun to be had in pointing out like things like see analysis of doctors, things that are rubbish, like the kind of backs to lights moving in them, might be the wine, booms coming in, and all those things that we thought would make it a bit acorn antique, like Twitter did. So.
We made a list, didn't we? We made a big list in the book of all the things that you see in really bad television, whether it's contemporary or period.
Yeah.
And we tried to hack in as many as we could. But what we realised is, you've got some funny joke like someone walking along with a suitcase like this, or coffee cups. Police dramas are all coming in like talking like this. There's no coffee in here. But we realised we really needed a commentary on it in order to point out the things that we were doing. And that's where we hit on the idea of the director's commentary. And we thought it'd be really fun to get to a certain point, 10 minutes in, and say, can we rewind? And suddenly you're like, oh, right, so we're not just watching this. And even then we didn't know how to end it. We had the director's commentary, we had the story itself of the Krampus, and the final twist that only occurred to us, I think, about 3/4 of the way in. What if it's not a director's commentary? What if it's a police interview? And what we're going to see ultimately is a snuff movie. And that was one of the most horrible endings we've ever come up with.
That was what we thought, now it came funny. Well, look back at it, that's it.
But we never wanted it to be a Christmas special. We wanted it to be part of the series, and it was the BBC who said, we were like, really? Christmas special? And that was figuring in the head. It's hopeless. They didn't put the plastic underneath it.
Yeah.
That's when we knew it was horrible, when we came up with the idea of the plastic.
Yeah.
And we had this big extra coming in who we thought maybe had just wandered in, we didn't know who he was. And he was a bit too keen on
with his top off, he needs to have his top off. What do you think he's doing? And the thing you pointed out the other day, like his belly button was one of them outies. It's like that looks your umbilical cord. Like a tube. Couldn't tell that it's a fit.
Been interesting, didn't it? Poor Jessica Ray is literally chained to this bed with the plastic under her.
They give him a big machete. And then they say, right, you've got to go in, and obviously you get to there, you won't go any further, will you? No, I won't go any further, They sort of clarify, don't kill the door. Don't.
No.
And was horrible, yeah, and we just didn't know who he was, the big tube, let him open his hand there.
But you shot it like a 70s show.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we were really lucky. I mean, our producer, Adam Tandy, is a big sort of technical expert. He loves the technical side of making television. And he managed to find, he said, I think we should really get some curious cameras. So they got these cameras out of a TV museum from the 1980s. Because one of the first things we wrote in the script is the camera pans past a capital and leaves one of those streaks across the screen. You know, you can only get that on those old cameras. So we got the original film, the original cameras, the original cameramen were brought out of retirements. They're in the show. They're using them cameras like cinema frames, just looking and
was reading the record.
it had brilliant authenticity to it, and we rehearsed for a week. And then getting Ulla Lester, you know, who we'd loved seeing in all those 70s shows.
Yeah, she'd been in a lot. Yeah. I think she was like aware of it to begin with, and she really embraced it.
Yeah. So the whole thing, it came together really well. And we shot it in 2 days, I think.
2 days and rehearsal at 5.
Yeah.
It was weird, yeah, you never do that, but it was rehearsal in the same way they would have rehearsed it for like Z-Cars, those multi-camera shows where you rehearse for a week for the cameras, and you're just stood in your mark, but it's for them mainly to know where they're going to be on the day we get to do it.
And you wanted a particular type of man acting in the show, don't you?
Yeah, it came naturally. Loved doing that sort of, I called it Simon McCorkindale acting, if anyone's familiar with him. But it's very earnest, isn't it? And everything is
All the subtext isn't spoken, isn't it? No subtext.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And you know, the little boy had to be a really terrible little boy. We didn't tell him we were looking for a terrible little boy.
First boy actor we could find.
Yeah. But he loved it. He had a good time. He did. He was cruel to him. Well, there was a bit when he has to sort of go to bed and say goodnight, and he said, "What you should do, George, is count 3 steps, start to take a beat, turn round, say goodnight, and then turn back round and leave. Do it exactly like that. That'd be really good." So we leave. So when you see it, he'll go, 1, 2, 3. Good night, Bob. And we were like, yes, that's exactly what we wanted.
Trying to make him bad deliberately.
That's terrible. Let's pick another.
It's a sort of cruelty that
Watch it tomorrow night.
Anyway, right, yes. This one, let's talk. 4th of October. The date is the 23rd of April 2015. What now? No, I'm afraid not. Call yourself a fan. No, it's not something we talked about it already. First of all, Rose. Now there's a party. Well done, Dan, yes.
Into someone who's blocking, and then you as the audience feel that sort of tension of knowing there's somebody under that cake. And in fact, when we designed the cake that we asked that it had, the flower's almost the shape of a face. So the cake becomes a character when you kept cutting back to him, how this little face, this thing. But the difference was when we wrote it at first, it didn't have the beginning and the paramedic arriving. And I think what that did is really add that sense of danger, because you knew something bad was going to happen, or you assumed something bad was bad. You'd already seen the paramedic arrive and someone screaming inside. And then as soon as you got that cake and that knife, you think someone's for it. And then, of course, we had the twist that he was doing casualties or teas.
Yes, it's a really good actor, and he'd done that whole routine himself for his own time. That's top off, and he works on the whole thing to the...
Like Magic Mike, isn't it?
Yeah, to the character.
But it was absolutely brilliant. It was a treat for us, because we were directing that episode as well. It was one of the years we directed in series 2. And it just said in the script, you know, he starts the script, he showed us this thing he had planned, and it was hysterical. So we kept it in.
Yeah, it was right. And the other thing that this episode has got, it's got probably one of my favourite, or both of our favourite performances in comedy. Lorraine Ashbourne, Carol, who was my wife in it. She was brilliant in it. Often we cast people in these, and they're too big a name, you can't audition them. So you just got to presume that they'll do it. hopefully even in the way the imagine writes it, we write and act out it. We eventually think of someone that when good for it, and then they see if they're available, eventually they'll do it, but you've got to just trust that they'll be in the right all parts. And we've never been disappointed. She was so above and beyond brilliant in the way that brilliant and form it was exactly as we cozy could picture. Well, so interesting. And she was sort of getting more and more pissed. She had this sunblock, sun going into the toilet, getting a drink in, playing inside an alcoholic woman. Had her end her head in with her husband playing by me, Pat, who was this sort of tragic character, enabling her. I like Pat, he was a good character. He seemed very like as a twat at the beginning, but then you sort of feel sorry for him at the end, with his mad joke. I used to be a rooms, but more like no. I want a seafood diet, I want a seafood, but Amy's things. It's like there's actually like that, but I mean, this sort of, he was very good natured, and his camera videos as well. One we know we got them. Jacqueline Clint. What are the three names I'm trying to think of the other day? Fanna Fawcett. There are three celebrities that
David Jackson.
David Jackson was the string from it. What's the name?
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels. Charlie's Angels. There are three celebrities. Jackson. Anyway, yeah, it was funny. So, but what she did was, back to the rain, she was getting a little bottle of whiskey. She was going to get a taste of it, and she had a little one of those little miniature bottles, and she was sort of nipping away at it all day. I was trying to taste it out my lips. Pissed! I think by the end, she just wanted to get a nip of it, but actually she was drinking it all.
She had about 30 or 40 of them in miniatures. No, it's not a joke. She was absolutely phenomenal, very professional, and it's definitely our favourite.
It was good, Catherine. It was our first experience in writing, and I think Canadian hair, yeah, hair is a new venture, and then sort of gave me the support. Take top colour as the cake, so it'll make some sort of passion chew when I still eat the cake. But yeah, it was no white
And how was it like Claire?
Claire's getting again. Yeah, Claire was someone who wanted to live with for ages. She lives very close to us, and we'd always passed her and have lunch at the same cafes, and never dared to speak to her, because even though we recognised her, she recognised us, we never actually met. So we'd admired her from afar, and we wanted the contrast of this very, very uptight, cleanliness obsessed character. Slightly based on my dad, who used to come home from work with straighten every picture, do the task that was on the road, and he couldn't relax until everything was just so. And so we based a lot of that on these sort of quirks. And she was brilliant, wasn't she? She definitely had that sort of antagonistic relationship. She did Lorraine's character, they were like chalk and cheese. And it's a very weekend thing, it's desolate. You have the marriage over it. Well, at least she hasn't approached.
Yes, yeah, and did.
You know what?
Yeah, you do what now? Yeah, ready, Dabby.
Dabby was fun.
February the 26th, 2014, Series 1.
Last gas.
Last guy. Oh, done. Oh! What's your name? What's your name?
Wayne.
Mike. We give him the paper. Come on, Mike. Last guy. I'll leave it there. You can guess it.
You've got the rhyme in that.
So yeah, this came from, well, in fact, as we talked about in our meeting at Janice Adler.
Yes.
When we were on the spot trying to come up with ideas. We hadn't really worked it through. We didn't know what we were talking about.
When I wrote song.
I remember this episode. Remember the multiple as well? They bring on their collections to talk about, and there was 1 week when this girl was there with about 40 or 50 jars, actually collected jars of air. All the different places she'd been. The book going on next and someone was meant to be bidding on this sort of furniture of empty jars. And the absurdity of it, for some reason, had stayed with me. So we got to talking about the notion of a celebrity blowing up a balloon, collapsing, and then them being in possession of their last breath. They're literally in their dying breath. And at the time, there was lots of news stories about the bloody livers being appreciated the livers done through the tissue down. They're like, oh, get that, on your head, wouldn't. And it would. And then he, well, Stalin perhaps. Yeah, that's not that one. Yeah, they're not that far away. Greece with us, yeah. But people were paying ridiculous amounts of money, weren't they?
They were.
We had these in memorabilia, yeah. Very little about that. That's the reality and the ridiculousness of something that is worthless being given a lending value.
Yeah, and that's where it came from. And the interesting thing is, in the first series we thought, Steve and I, that it would be good to not be each one of us every week in them. So this is the one episode of It's Southern now that I'm in, and Steve wasn't in Harrowing. Because we felt at the time I might just get a bit, I get sick of seeing our faces, and we didn't want it to feel like it was a vanity thing where we just take and make parts all the time. So yeah, this one, we just thought I won't be there. I could have been there a little part. It was just early days in deciding what we would do.
You could have been the bodyguard. It was a deliberate choice. It wasn't like there's no part of it.
Yeah, no, it was good because he was great what he had with DQs.
Yeah.
But I picked it like his authenticity, that character, and it's great.
So talk about plot styles. In this they were them for that a cast.
Yes.
Scene with thinking of that real life.
We didn't write it with anyone in particular in mind. We thought we'd maybe try and get a real live pop star. So we started off, I think, with after Tom Jones, weren't we?
Yeah, but he was interested, wasn't he?
He was interested. Tom's people looked at it, but I think they thought it might be, even though he was probably
Quite old, that.
I didn't want to tempt fate, put it out there. So he passed, and then they looked at some sort of younger ones, like the likes of Simon Le Barton and George Michael was interested there for a while. Down he was. And who else? Martin, Tony Hadley.
Oh yes, yes.
But it had to be a big enough star. Also, we wanted somebody who, wouldn't detract from the story, but he felt like he would give his authenticity, but.
It got the way, didn't it, the idea of it being real one, because you know that they're not dead. So you would be taken out of the common. So we thought, let's create a bubble in the world where you just make one up, and then he can't die. Stick with it as a story. So yeah, it became this crooner character that David Medallion like.
So the conceit is the girl wishes for the singer. Has anybody wished for the parent?
No, we haven't. What was that function? We've not been anyone's wish.
Oh no.
Although at the end, when we did this episode, to raise some money for charity, I did sell a purple balloon of my breath on eBay. I think it went for £300.
Yeah.
Down balls.
Should we do one more? Okay. Okay, this is Mike versus Dan, the showdown.
Choose Mike.
Okay, this is quite easy. So it's the first one to shout out. The 24th of May, 2021.
Lip service. Lip service.
Yeah!
Yeah, that guy, yeah. Hello.
This from Series 6 we haven't talked about.
The acoustics makes it sound like it's...
So this was interesting. We've written series. I was filmed Series 6 in March 2020. And we'd done 3 days of past night control, so what you mentioned. And then COVID shut us down. We were one of the last productions standing, weren't we?
Yeah.
So we had this enforced break, but we knew we had Series 7 commissioned. So lip service was actually something we wrote for Series 7. In the end, they thought that it was quite good to put into Series 6 because it had very few characters and we could fill it in a studio. So that hotel room. It was built in the studio, and it was a bit more COVID-friendly to film. But originally it was going to be 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And again, it's very much this one is it fits the model of you think you are watching one thing, and underneath another thing is going on entirely. But we hope I've seen it along the way, so it's a very big surprise when everything is unraveled at the end. And it came from the two ideas of it's a very intriguing thing that I was always think of lip readers and hire these people that can, from afar, watch, and there are professional ones that do it for a living, for newspapers and for whatever covert reasons they want to go to see. Select footballers talking to each other on the pitch or whatever it might be, or the royal family whispering to each other. They get an insight into what they're saying. And that was one idea. And then the other thing that we wanted to do for a while was a sort of conspiracy feeling, a bit like Arlington Road, the Lancurian camp today? No, not quite that. Parallax view, yeah. A sort of where it's, a bigger, darker, Big Brother type scenario is being going on, and someone is dispatched to all these. And that was all hidden, and it looked like it was about this sad man that was. Again, there's sort of many reveals within it, and we shouldn't know what Felix is doing in the room by himself. It perhaps looks like he's going to kill himself. He's depressed and sad, and then this woman turns up, and you think, is it a prostitute? And there's some banter about that. And bit by bit, it's revealed what he wants her for, which is he stays with Wayne's having an affair. She's across the way, and we seeded in quite likely the idea that she was in the government somehow. It's thrown away, and we went back and we took some of that out. We thought it was too, you might get it, so we're quite careful in reading it back and thinking that's too heavily flagged. One thing we always say to ourselves is, why are we being told that? Because if we were watching it, we all, when we watch films, you think, why are we being told where it is? For a reason later on that minor character is in the killer, whatever. It's like when you watch Midsummer Murders, some really big action time up. Therefore, but now there. That's why I get on the heart. They're not going to now go away. They're not the partner. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to speak to the air.
Ours to the one set. We can't go to the other room and see what's going on, whereas in a thriller you probably would. So you ended up having to think, like, how can we advance the story? And we came up with this great scene where she's lip reading one end of the phone call and he's actually taking the other end of the phone call. And had we been free to do anything, and you could have been in the room and seen the other phone call, it wouldn't have been as effective a scene. So those limitations make you more inventive with how you present your half-hour story, I think.
Yeah, and my character, Mr. Wood, the manager that was running a hotel as if it was a concentration camp, he's really there. He's sort of for comic relief, but I think also he is a big red herring because he's just naturally suspicious type hotelier. But he's in interruptions that keep stopping the action. I think our audiences would have probably thought. I think the delivery made it that you might think he's got something to do with it. He's too suspicious, and his own thing is just an officious little hotel manager. But that helps take you off down your film path as well. And it is all about those two.
And the hair that you put in every episode, you had an ingenious solution for this one.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone doesn't know, we from the very first series, we've always hidden this hair statue in every episode. And again, it was just something like the number on the door.
Fan of hair!
Hair fan!
Hair fan! Sounds like hair fan!
Pardon? You've got the hair! Oh, well, have you done 3 wishes with it? Be careful what you wish for. Yeah, you can buy them. You can buy it from Nottingham or whatever, yeah. So it's not unique to us. We didn't make it. We just chose it. It's something that anyone can buy it. But if it doesn't suit being actually in that room, we have to find another way. Sometimes we put it in a photograph, so it's in the background of a photograph. And in this one, it's in the little bottle of shampoo.
Yeah, well, what I'm by doing. Can you just investigate your toilet situation? And then he goes and gets this through their bottle of shampoo is both together. And on the bottle is the silhouette of the hair. So that's how we stuck it in Dallas, which didn't think it would be in the hotel room. So it's on our mic.
They never draw me, they can buy all their hair.
Yeah, we did think that, and then we thought, well, that's just a bit too weird. But what I love about that opening shot, I mean, the very first thing you see is, of course, you know you're going to see a hair tie on a Bible in the drawer, but that hair drawing becomes the Deus Ex Machina at the other end. So it's really satisfying to know that you've shown the audience something right at the beginning that they don't know is significant until the end.
Chekhov's hair on.
Cool. In a minute, we'll have a QR code. The first night that we did this in Liverpool, one of the questions that your minister asked was, why do you keep playing with that shit Neil Stone? It wasn't easy, was it?
Really?
Yes. So, Steve would like to explain why you play the shit Neil Stone.
Stop saying shit.
Well, as I'm sure Dan and Mike will know, we have always played Neil Stark music, going back to our very, very first League of Gentlemen shows. Yeah, that's because when I was a very cool teenager, I stole a Neil Stark tape from my mum and dad. I was into Billy Joel, Neil Stark. I remember all of this cool stuff. And basically, we used to play it, didn't we, when we were playing board games?
Yeah.
Play Neil Starker, and when Reece was on the dole, and I was taking my week off. And we just got hooked on it. So when we went to Edinburgh Festival, doing the League of Gentlemen, when we went to Drury Lane, did the League of Gentlemen, and every live event we've ever done, we've always played Neil Starker. It's our version of the hair, it's our lucky
I always feel wrong if we could play it, and we had, like Steve says, we used to listen to it whilst we were in the dome, and used to cheer us up. And we did go, we might be going out, going to, whenever he's in London, goes to the Royal Albert Hall, me and Steve will go and sit among all the old ladies like Gilbert and George, Alvin Hanks. And all the old ladies are, what the fuck are they doing there? Anyway, so we tried to go and see him backstage once, went after him like mad fads. Me, Steve and Man Lucas went round the back trying to catch the donkey, and he just came out, whipped straight into his car. I don't have time. That's Neil Sedano, Man Lucas. So we never actually ever got to meet him, but I thought, I need a connection between Sanaka and us. So I wrote to Cameo, that website where you can get celebrities if you pay them £20 with them, say hello or whatever it might be. I'd read to a funeral in each area. And I don't think anyone's done that. But I got Sadaka to say happy birthday to Amazon. And I think we're going to show you the video that he sent us.
Steve Pemberton, surprise, surprise, it's Neil Sedaka. Your friend Reece Shearsmith is wishing you a belated 53rd birthday. You introduced her to my music 20 years ago. And it's hard to sing my concerts. One of my favorite venues. Well, I want to dedicate 2 songs to you. 2 of your favorites. You really went into the bottom of the barrel here, but I love it. Let's see if I can remember this one. Bodies like yours should be used for something more than just waving around like a flag.
It was the nicest present she ever got me. So enjoy listening to Neil Sedaka in the interval, think of some good questions. Use this QR code, and we'll see.
You got a QR reader. What do you want to ask?
Must go on. This has never yet prevented me wanting far too much for far too long. Now looking back, I could have played it differently. One a few moments to pretend, but it took time to understand. Now at least I can love him well. Wasn't it good? Finding madness, he won't be mine. But I think he needs a little bit more than me. More security, his fantasy and freedom. I know him so well. No one in your life is with you constantly. No one is completely on your side. And though I move my world to be with him, still the gap between us is too wide. Looking back and good. About the man before I fell. I was just a little kid, but I was ever so much younger than now. At least I know him well. Wasn't it good? Oh, so good. Wasn't he fine? Oh, so fine. Isn't it madness? He won't be mine. Didn't I know it was how it could go if I knew from the start? Why am I falling apart? Wasn't he fine? Isn't it madness? He won't be mine. More security, his fantasy and freedom. I know him so well. It took time to understand him. Everybody!
That, of course, is from the episode Empty Orchestra. And Empty Orchestra, as I'm sure you know, is the translation of the word karaoke in Japanese. Yes, now you've learned something. So, please welcome back to the stage the author of The Insider's Guide to Insight No.9, Mr. Mark Salisbury.
You had that selling look ahead for weeks. Yeah, weeks. Wayne over there is Wayne, not Mike.
Why did you say Mike? I apologise, Wayne, you're the winner.
I'm up here.
That was the twist.
They're very easy to please, audience. Rod says, Reece, could you toe with the fun off?
What do you want me to do? Tell me who's in.
Rog.
Rod, fuck off.
Come on, fuck off.
Is that what's going?
Hannah Johnson says, in several episodes, Steve gets his legs out. They're very technically impressive. Does he have a specific leg workout?
No, I don't. I don't, although I had to do quite a bit of running in high heels as Pauline Campbell-Jones. So I think that was a big help. But no, thank you very much. I can't work where have I got my legs out? Suppose the referee's a wanker.
Yeah.
Zanzibar.
Oh, yes, yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on over there.
And on another leg theme, so why are the legs of Reese's chair made of plastic and Steve's wood? Wages.
Is that the thing you're going to take? Oh, somewhere. I was distracted. Watch the minute. No one noticed. What did you notice? I'll tell you what I noticed. Watching like the two chairs, right? One set makes the wood, did you imagine? And then I was looking across. You wouldn't fucking believe this. Were they saying anything? I don't know. Plastic legs. I think it must have been white. We don't know, I see it. Oh yeah, look at that. It's not they're not plastic, they're wrapped in tape. Instead of the fucking sheep and the broke. That's what it is.
In a broke.
Broke. Maybe an expensive.
You reckon you can take Johnny Brooker in a fight?
If there's two of us, yeah.
Yeah. We'll get a robot to do it behind one of his fucking programs. Throwing her bad, phones and bad.
Reece, why are you so hot?
I'm 52-year-old man. I'm a little old man. So, we know it. I am a bit hotter than your fucking fudge. That's what you really. I need a pair of seats.
If you had to invite 3 serial killers to stay the night at yours, who would you choose and what would you call them?
Oh, obviously, this has nothing to do with this. What skill these questions?
We're not staying the night here in Nottingham.
I never quite heard it, but what's the saying? 3 people.
If you had to invite 3 serial killers,
Oh, serial killers, now you're talking. Dylan. Yes. Some cannibalism going. You like reading around his kettle full of cocks. Ned Dean, Ben full of nipples. Also nipples again. And what was the last one? Maybe Alabama fish. That fish is a difficult one, yeah, classic, yeah. To nails happened and nobody knew where I got. That's it. So, well, you whisked.
And what do you constantine?
What
What would you constantine?
you have to be probably someone's bollocks?
Do you? Oh, they're all very outstanding. Do you feel that you are limited by the 30-minute slot? Are there any episodes which you would have preferred to expand upon or develop outside of the BBC?
Funny an actual question.
I don't think we feel limited by it. There's definitely episodes that have been longer when we've made it than 30 minutes, and because you know, it would be nice to have 32 minutes or 33 minutes, but we have to stick within a schedule. If you're making a show on Netflix, you can make it short form. So I really like the 30-minute running time. I think it means you've got no fat in the story. You have to hit the ground running. It doesn't actually take well when there's no padding. We have had, I think the worst episode was Did a Little Dumpling, and that was 35 or 36 minutes. We had to cut the whole end scene out, didn't we? And it's all in the script book. If you buy the script book, you can see the ending, which wasn't as good, actually. So sometimes having to be brevity is the source of wit, as they say. So it's good to cut things down.
Danny Graves says, I've been to his funeral, can you cheer me up? I didn't even need to laugh at that.
Oh, sorry to hear that. You shouldn't be such an idiot. Well, it's the twist. It was his own twist is yeah, he was actually a coach. It was his own. Maybe twist.
Will you release the topless talons?
Yeah, with heads off torsos.
What's the twist at the end of COVID?
What's the twist at the end of COVID?
Yeah.
Let's think about it. If we were doing it,
Yeah. A pandemic.
it can't be that it isn't real, because then all them fucking idiot anti-vaxxers would be proved around.
What would we do?
You're a mass manufacturer.
Yes. Mass manufacturer. That would be part of it. I don't know. There's very little funny about it.
When's the live stage show happening? So when are you going to do it live inside No.9?
Well, we are. I think we are going to do that. That's it. We are probably. I mean, it would be. We've got to think of what it would be, and it would probably. I mean, they're all suited to do the live. They are likely to play, so they've always been suited to do it. Could be. It would just be. It's early days talking about it. But seriously, talking about it.
What actors would you like to see on stage?
Ooh. All of us are on the same match.
I get secret. Heard you.
What's he saying?
Rodney, you want to be
Oh, good, like your stories.
I say we do one where you watch it and then a guest comes in. They're all lining the studio, and then eyes are wiped, and then you go,
Like Squid Game.
let's begin with.
And taxis outside to knock everybody out. And when you wake up, you've got overalls on. We've got masks on. We kill you one at a time.
And the alarms, you know. Is that what it's in it?
No.
All right. So, there must be another one I want. No, I'm thinking of another question from one of the other nights, where one of the questions was, do you think Neil Sedana's finger would fit up my arsehole?
What's that?
I don't know if you answered it, did we?
No, we didn't. We needed to see the household in question.
Yes.
Talking of arses, I kind of want to tell how Mary is yours. I didn't write this.
Is it how hairy is our house?
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
4, 3 weeks. Nothing got that hairy though.
No.
I'm not sure that.
200.
The favourite character you've played? Doesn't specify that it's outside the benign or anything else.
Blimey, favourite character?
I liked doing Mr. Warren in The Witchfinder, because I'd often ended up hunting trees with the torch over them. So I enjoyed that. So how can I work that into IT scoring? You freaking foreman in the back. So I did that.
I enjoyed doing David Sauber's again when we brought him back from Psychoville. It was such a nice treat for us to do, but also a nice treat hopefully for fans as well, as we kept it a secret. And just the idea of that door opening and seeing that haircut put it on, it was really worth it, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I wanted to bring him back, and the other reason to do it was apart from crack that seldom thought that would be fun. We just wanted to dance like that for 20 minutes. And Heather Bum's The Line of Borings was wanted to somehow arrive at her saying, David, bring that baby over here and we'll never get it wild.
We did it, and we did.
Which episodes were the quickest and the slowest to write?
Oh, very good question. The quickest probably was 12 Days for Steve.
I think it actually.
We were under a lot of time pressure with that one, so we did write the first draft in a week. And similarly with the Stakeout, So if we've ever written an episode which they think is too expensive, they'll tell us we can't do that. We've got 4 weeks to go to production, and we get sent back to our office, and then our producer says, haven't you got one in a bunch of drawer or something you could pull out? And no, we don't. We had it. We've done it. So we did both of those in a week. The longest that we struggled over, we spent a long time on sales time, didn't we? The ending.
Yeah, still probably not quite like that. It's a bit of a generic joke of scare and would happily done something better with that. Wasn't the dance by I felt like that one, was it not? Just torturous to write. Probably, sales time was back and forth with it, and then I think we worked with this for quite a while.
And who do you like more, Dan or Mike? Or Wayne?
Wayne. His alter ego, Wayne. Is that Tom Hardy? I like Danny. Because he didn't lie about his name.
I like a winner, so I like Wayne.
Hey.
There you go.
What's your fastest time to take a crypt crossword?
I don't time myself doing it. So I've got no idea, probably a couple of hours, something like that. I like to have one in my bag that I'm doing for a week or longer. And very often when you're filming, if you've seen the episode Hurry Up and Wait, where Reece's character plays the actor who's shunted in this caravan, you do have a lot of downtime when you're filming, and you don't know if you're going to be sitting there for 20 minutes or 3 hours. So I like to have something I can pick up and put down. But yeah, I don't time myself. It's not a competitive sport.
Will you do the Superman?
Yes. Yes.
You and my nail out again.
We're not going to, like Pavlov's dog's just going to jump up just because you say it.
Can't get it wrong then.
Do you still have the neck? Tell me that.
The lecture. We had to make one when we brought that David and Maureen's house back. So basically, we made these videos for Psychoville, and we did a whole online experience. I think it's still out there, where every single character had their own website. And one of the things we did for David Salvos is we created a YouTube channel, and we put these videos on there. We didn't announce that it was part of our show, and a lot of Americans got quite sort of
Who's this guy? Sick.
Maureen was interviewing David,
Yeah.
and he had made this sort of...
Maybe the audience in favour.
Maureen, David had made this lamp, and the head of it was painted with the face of Hannibal Lecter, wasn't it? So we said, next time we're going to take on Travis then. See if I'm such a piece Jones. But Maureen wasn't impressed with sure I meant crap. So no, we don't.
We haven't looked at maybe in storage.
Dan the fan says, I love Christian Henson's scores. My favourite is Stakeout. What's your favourite score each contributed inside? And
Good question, Dan.
One of my more recent favourites. Christy does a great job. It's a hard-ass infant score, 43 different stories. Nothing to beat yourself. But one of my recent favourites was the one for How Do You Plead? It was 6 with Dave Jacoby. That was a really good, creepy. It took a while to get there, but I really liked the whole ending where spoiler alert, the Denver Matrix has their place to go. It was a really dramatic ending to the whole thing. Very full of nonsense.
But you pushed him with that score, didn't you, to make it more...
I did, yeah. He was sort of resistant to it being a driving sort of music at the end when it's getting more and more. The build-up is getting good, and he was sort of not... He didn't really doing it in the way I thought he needed more and more. But yes, he did. He came back.
I think my favourite one is from To Have and To Hold, where I'm playing this character with Nicola Walker's my wife, and we've got Fritzl in the basement. Yeah. And the scene where the reveal of the secret room is, the music is the same theme, but it turns. It goes very, very dark. And in fact, one of the things we did in that scene is we took the music out completely and we allowed the kettle boiling, creaking, to score the horror of it. We just didn't want it to be a musical moment. But what Christian did in turning that from a sort of very mundane, sort of homely cello score to something really dark by the end in the same notes, it's incredible. He's a huge talent.
are there any genres you've wanted to tackle but found too tricky?
Porn.
Musical. I mean, that was one that we did. There was a written script that was a musical, and that because it's not quite the same as NGO, where we were there singing songs, and then the story came out. The lyrics, I asked, we weren't marching into something. We were there just really karaoke. So we did write a musical version where it was a story with music, and too expensive, they said. It was going to be too hard to pre-record all the music, go in and do it all the day, sing to the pre-recorded voices, so it didn't happen. It's still there as a script. That's a genre we haven't done. It's sort of crying out that we didn't do it.
What makes a good No.9 location?
Warm. They're all different. I mean, we really actively choose now to look for different things all the time. So more and more recently, we've got 3 or 4 houses and flats. So let's do something really new.
Yeah.
What's the best location we found? I think the location we found for A Quiet Night In, the sort of very modern house, that was absolutely brilliant. We wrote it imagining a modern house, but we didn't know exactly what we would have, so it was a question of getting to that house. And because it was all about the action, it's not about the dialogue, there wasn't a dialogue, it had to be written for what was there. So, for example, the swimming pool wasn't in our imaginations when we wrote it, but we used it. The fact we had a dumb waiter, which they did have, they had it, it's amazing.
And the big glass doors at the end for you to be able to throw the living dog out. He was shooting a plane, splat up. And all the sweetie perfectly, we went around the whole day I spent with Eddie Kerr. We found this house, we'd written that script, and then we found a house that geographically fitted it perfectly. Yeah, the pool was added in the areas of extra features we added it, but they had it.
A lot of Inside No.9 is very accessible for hard of hearing people. Lip service, empty orchestra, and the silent episode. Is this intentional?
Oh, no, it's a happy accident, really. Yeah. I mean, the silent episode we knew would be enjoyable to take the pressure off us, script writers, not to have to write dialogue. It was just nice to think, let's just write stage direction.
That was harmony. That wasn't easy, was it, to keep the story going just with dialogue?
No, we didn't know how, when we finished. It's very hard to time.
Yeah.
You can't just read it the same way you can a script.
Yeah.
And with the example of Empty Orchestra, where we had a deaf character, and we had a deaf actress, Emily Howlett, playing Janet, And she brought so much to it because we didn't want to write her experience of what it would be like. So one of the first things we did after we cast her is say, tell us what it would be like for you in this room, and we want it to reflect your experience. And she talked about, oh, the first thing I'd do is take a hearing aid out because it will be unbearable. And she would experience the music by touch and by feeling its speakers. And that whole ending where, the character who she fancies and he takes her hand and puts it on her heart, that all came out of talking to her and with the director. And so we were quite collaborative with her in that respect.
Well, it's good that I guess that is a thing that you've spotted in that question, because I guess it means that the stories are sort of, there aren't very word balanced, but if you're getting them visually as well, that's quite a good marker of the storytelling if it's successful. A lot of times they'll tell you in the film school to watch back your short films without the signal and see, can you still tell, do you still get the story? Because it is a very visual, should be a good visual medium.
Well, when we did our podcast, we have a podcast.
So you have a podcast like every other fucking cunt.
What's it called? Inside No.9.
It's called Inside.
We interviewed different people who work on the show. We interviewed our editor, Joe Randall Cutler, who's done almost every episode. It's a really enlightening interview, and he said when he gets the footage, the first thing he does is watch it all with no dialogue. So he's just experiencing storytelling. And in that way, he knows what the shape of it is going to be, and he's not fixated on the story. I thought that was really interesting and something else.
Where did you get the idea to shit in a shoebox? That's from an episode.
It's like real life. It's more short.
I think in that episode, which is La Couchette, it was a very claustrophobic episode. So we enjoyed doing everything possible to annoy Reece's character, Maxwell, who just wanted a quiet night. In a way, it was a bit like a quiet night in. We opened it with a lot of dumbshire and a lot of action. So we wanted to bring in smells, noises, anything that was going to be disruptive in a small railway carriage. Yeah. And I think it was a continuation, really, of your coming in and farting my character, the German one. But I actually didn't want to play that character. I wanted to play Mark Hampton's character. That's my character. Well, I wanted to play yours, but I couldn't get it out of your grasp. So I ended up playing it, but we did offer it to a German actor to begin with. And he liked the script up to the point where he had to shit in a shoebox, and I said, I'm not willing to do that. I thought, for fuck's sake, it's the most German humour you can imagine. If he just had a mullet and was singing David Hasselhoff, it would be the ultimate Germanic expression of comedy. But he wouldn't do it, so I and it was a really funny, chaotic scene to do. So, I think it was just what's the worst thing that can happen.
After your dancing events, was either of you considered doing Strictly?
Well, you do often get, that does come on our desk from time to time. I would never said yes to it. So I think that, I don't know, it's not watched many of them, but I know honestly there was someone telling me off about what she said week after week. Couldn't bear it. Fuck you. You're fucking doing that. That's the problem. So no, I could use my tongue.
This question is all in capital letters with lots of raging bugs. What was it like working with Simon Novak?
Oh, it was great. I mean, we walked into it with him in some capacity, and it was a funny part because there was no dialogue. I mean, he has the last slide of the whole thing. He actually speaks. Funny thing about that is, I've heard people say, "Oh, it's such a shame that he got all the way to the end, and then he had to say that line." And he's like, "What's fucking deliberate, you idiots?" Of course, we could have gone to the end and not had no dialogue, but we wanted this one ironically last slide of time. But he was very inventive on it, and visually, he's very fabulous as a person.
Yeah, he's got one of those faces that really, he's got a really elastic face, really made us laugh, and he's big, and he brought that sort of threat that we needed for this character. So.
But that's sort of when he came out at the end when it's revealed that he's sort of the hitman behind him. But so then he's very like gentle giant, where he presents really to very chilly at the end.
Are there any episodes you think are misunderstood or underrated by viewers?
Oh gosh, don't get me started. Misunderstood. I think the one episode that didn't go down quite so well as we'd hoped was And the Winner Is, which is all about this awards panel. And I think it's because people supposedly got the twist. The twist being that one of the people on the panel was eventually revealed to be an actress who was in the mix. And it's frustrating because you think, well, the dialogue in that, the character work in that is really enjoyable. And if you get the twist, well, great, well done you. But it doesn't mean anything that's gone before it is ruined. You still have 28 minutes of enjoyable storytelling.
That's when it gets frustrating when you think you're already judging it by the last 30 seconds. It's that, yeah, whatever, what's the twist? And if that's the case, then that's really a shame, because most of our time in the office writing is the writing the whole thing, not just finding draw dropping thing, which you can't retain, you can't keep out, I think. Because everything now is preceded by all your favourite best-ofs for 43 episodes. So to keep the bar high and do something where we haven't done it before is getting increasingly difficult. But yeah, that's a really funny one, I think. Maybe don't like with this numbers for our awards set.
Maybe. But I think the other one that was maybe a bit misunderstood or just not understood at all was Last Night at the Proms. And it is a crazy fever dream. You can't really explain it. We can't say what it is meant to be, or it's one of those that's open to interpretation, and depending on your politics, people interpreted it one way or the other. We never wanted that to be a political episode, and in fact, the idea of it came out of like the second or third series. We've been talking about it for a while, but you couldn't ignore the Last Night at the Proms and the Brexit argument. If it would have felt daft not to have mentioned it. So
we just wanted to kill Jesus with a pitchfork and wrap him in a Union Jack. What's wrong with that?
But to be fair, if you actually read the lyrics to Jerusalem, I mean, we didn't just make that up. The song Jerusalem is all about, did Jesus come to Britain, basically? Did Jesus walk on this green, pleasant land? And so the notion of what a second coming, and what would it be like if Jesus came back and walked into the Last Night at the Proms at the moment? So that's, it didn't come from nowhere.
You'd get COVID. What is the thing you hate most about Christmas?
Oh, that's a horrible. I love Christmas. I don't like that. I don't hate anything about it.
I think it started on the 1st of November. So the day after Halloween, my daughter was like, fairy tale in New York, boom, we're into the Christmas run now. And I have it 1st of December. That's fair enough, but 1st of November too soon.
Mark Gatiss and Jeremy Nice, will you put them in an episode which is exciting?
Was that their question?
Yes, Mark.
Well, actually, I think we are allowed to say that we have put Mark Gatiss in an episode of Psychoville.
It's in Series 7.
And he's Series 7, which is all filmed. We're just doing the final touches to it. It's going to be on in spring next year. And we can show a picture, I think, of the three of us.
Here we are. There's Mark.
So these are costumes, by the way. It's not us just relaxing.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a joy to do, wasn't it? Mark really enjoyed his time, and he sent us a message afterwards and said, I realised how much I love you and I miss you and love working together. And it reminded us, because we've known each other 30 years, going to college together and praying, it reminded us of this.
In States of Beer, 20 years ago. No, it's called
Wolves did it.
Stay right, Brian.
It's a fantastic thing, and we're so lucky to have that opportunity to work together, still be writing together. Like we've done 3 shows together, and it goes back it goes back 30 years. So we feel very privileged.
Lots of people want to know whether you came up with a live Halloween special.
Oh, well, the BBC asked us to do a live. It wasn't our idea initially to do a live. And we resisted a little bit further because it felt like they were a bit tenner penny, weren't they? As to how he does it, and sometimes Easter does it. We thought, there's not really any advantage of doing it. It was just like a roving episode in Saturday night, because the line would go wrong. And then we thought, what if it does go wrong, and we are in charge of it going wrong? And then it became an exciting prospect because there was a way in.
Yeah, I think we loved the idea of it going wrong, and then the challenge for us was how do you keep a story going if you're not actually telling the story you set out to tell. So we set up this fake episode of Finding the Phone, and it was an episode we had considered for its like, but no, we knew we weren't going to do anything with it, so we thought we'll have that as the sacrificial episode. And then it was about finding, it was almost like a collage of things that the audience weren't quite sure what was going on. You've suddenly got Bobby Davro, Keith Chegwin and Lionel Blair, and him falling down in the stocks. Oh, come on, mate! And you've had a film studios episode of Most Haunted. So we did a lot of research about things that happen in TV studios where filming goes wrong, and haunted TV studios. So that's where all that stuff came out of. And the audience really had to pick their own story out. It was nice to not be presenting storytelling in a normal way.
Do your families think you're psychopaths?
Yes. I was remembering the other day we were talking about the inquiry when I seen the dogs, and why I don't think so. I stabbed that dog Steph with an umbrella, which I didn't. But it reminded me of when I was a little lad. I used to imagine trips down the street to the other children. But the girl once said to me, I was only 10, she was like 6. And I said, no, I'm not doing any more tricks, I've done some. She said, oh, please, Reece, I'd let you drown, why don't we put this? Come on, man. How did you know I used to do that kind of thing? But no, I think the madness is in the work, and we've managed always to, I think, for it remain quite normal in our normal lives. I think it's because there's been 4 of us always keeping each other in check. And maybe we would be quite hard if we didn't have this. Yeah.
Have to keep making insight for that.
Fucking hell.
Who is the most talented person in Shakespeare?
Steve Pembert.
Reece is, yeah. Now we do complement each other very well. We love working together, and you know, I remember when we did The League of Gentlemen, and it was the 4 of us, and you are going to not always have your own way. There are things that, you know, you feel strongly about, and you're outvoted or whatever. And you soon learn that you know, the whole is bigger than the sum of its parts. And as Jeremy memorably said, you don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. So why spoil it? Why? It's not worth it just to have, you know, your own way. So we always compromise with each other, and we've been writing together for 20 years. So we've got over any kind of bumps about, you know, who's right or who's wrong. We just genuinely collect.
Yeah, it's about the work and knowing it.
Who would win in a fight between the pair of you? Who would win in a fight between the pair of you?
Reece. Reece doesn't know his own strength. And I remember when anything I've got to do, what I would do in fighting in TV, I'm always slightly worried. There was an episode of League of Gentlemen where they're about to whip me with a belt. And this is the fight director. Still fight director? As Liz Gutwood, and I was Barry Banks. Stop it! Well, because I had all this padding on anyway, huge padding, but you went for it, didn't you?
I did go for
and
it.
the first lash of the whip actually smashed the fluorescent glass. So not only did I have glass raining down in my face, we just carried on with it. There's no one called hooks, so you carried on whipping. So that lasted position of Christ. And
I must have been one kind of disease breaking you drip off there.
and it's an extra in one of the DVDs.
It is. I think we still had big weapons solved.
Yeah. But then I got my revenge when I had to suffocate it in Simon Says.
You did. And then there really was no safe word. It went nap and he suffocating. It was just, I was thinking it's a fight person. He just got told me it was literally suffocating. I was trying to, I got my head to the side and I thought, I'm all right, but then he sort of rearranged himself.
I finally got what he said is, if you're really in difficulty, just struggle and oh. But then you were struggling anyway. I thought it was acting.
Oh, breathe, good Lord.
I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. Thank you so much for all your questions. And we couldn't get through them, honestly. Lots of answers are in the book, so buy that for Christmas.
But Mark, we've come all this way to Nottingham, one of our favourite places to come. We've been here so many times, and you've always been brilliant audiences. And because we've been talking about Bernie Clifton's dressing room, there's only one way to end. Hear the music. It's almost time to say goodbye to Tyler and Fairley. It's almost time to bring the curtain down.
I'll say adieu to the young Solomon, it has been swell, but don't you cry the tears of a clown. If you're going to cry tears of laughter, a smile takes much less effort than a frown. So hold your and raise the rafters, cause laughter's the best medicine in town.
Doctor, keep feeling like a woman who's delivering babies.
Don't worry, it's just a midwife crisis. If you're going to cry tears of laughter, your honeymoon can never bring you to misery. Misery and laughter, but laughter is my memory. There are 3 types of people in this world: those that can count and those that can't. Crap! Laughter is my memory.
Do you know I spent the last 4 years looking for my mother-in-law's killer? But no one will do it!
Laughter